Bueno, muy buenos días a todos. Muchas gracias por conectarse en nuestro seminario del día de hoy, el cual titulamos Pollution in the Magdalena River. Tenemos el gusto de que nos acompañan dos personas, investigadores, estudiantes de la Universidad de BOKU de Austria, quienes nos van a hablar un poco sobre las investigaciones que están desarrollando acá en nuestro país. Estos investigadores son Stummer y Sabine Schweitzer, quienes nos van a hablar sobre estas investigaciones en el río Magdalena. Primero tendremos la presentación de Micael y luego la de Sabine. Entonces, muchas gracias a los que están conectados. Cualquier inquietud o pregunta pueden hacerlo a través del chat y la grabación va a ser grabada. Entonces, bienvenidos y le doy la palabra a Micael.
Okay, so also very welcome from my side. Thank you that you arrived, and also most of the people are here online. I might present myself. My name is Michael. This is Michael or Miguel in German. And also my colleague Sabine, she will present herself a little later. We are both here from the BOKU University in Vienna. This university is the University for Life Science and Natural Resources in Vienna. And we are currently here in Bogota, and we have this honor to work together with the University Javeriana. And why, we will explain this in a few minutes. But first, let me please introduce me the BOKU University, so you have a little knowledge about the BOKU University, and then we will talk about our projects. So first, I will show you a very short video about the university. You can see it. I hope you can hear it as well.
BOKU, with many faces, buildings, infrastructure, laboratories, lecture halls. But as a university, we are much more than that. Science has a responsibility towards society. The world is full of challenges. We grow stronger with them. Who, if not us, should take this responsibility? To inspire others. We are providing fundamental research for safe vaccines and medicine. We need to transform our economy into a circular, sustainable one. We are working to secure food production for all people worldwide. Understanding the mechanisms of the climate crisis is essential for survival. We strive to understand nature in a holistic way. Studying at BOKU is the ideal basis to master the challenges of our time. Together, we are the University of Natural Resources and Life Sciences, and have been featuring the future for 150 years.
Perfect. So as you heard, the BOKU is a 150 years university established in Vienna. We started usually with agriculture, forestry, and watershed management. This is a very long time ago. And with the time, we added more specializations. And right now we have 15 departments. I will present them in a few seconds, and 78 institutes. We have 7 bachelor programs, 31 master programs, and 13 doctoral programs. I will show them a little later, so you can have your own look. Let's start with some facts and figures. We have about 10,300 students in all these programs. We have about 1,240 graduates per year. We have 3,000 more or less employees. We are both one of those. We have 104 full professors and almost the same amount of assistant and associate professors, which is very important. We have 15 departments, as I said already. We have like material science, we have biotechnology, we have water, atmosphere, and environment. This is very important for us. Nano and biotechnology, same as chemistry, biology, food science, landscape science, economic and social science, agriculture science, as well as civil engineering, forest science, crop science, agrotechnology, and genetics and cell biology. We mainly focus on the United Nations SDGs. So therefore, we have these three main outputs. This is the development of the living space, the natural resources, and the security of the nutrition and health. So these are our 7 bachelor programs. They are mainly in German. We have forestry. This is my colleague Sabine did the forestry bachelor. I did the environmental engineering. We have food science, agriculture. We have landscape planning and wood technology. We have also some other bachelor things. They are very specialized, but they do not open year by year. And all our bachelors have 3 pillar principles. They are focused on natural science, technology, and engineering science, and economic science. So all our studies are like this. Now let's get it a little bit more interesting. We are going to the 35 master programs, but I will go directly to the English-speaking master programs. As you can see, we have here like mountain forestry, we have water management, but as well we have soil studies, we have green chemistry, we have green building engineering, as well as viticulture. So this is when you work with the vineyards, enology and wine economics. We have also safety in the food chain. All these studies are English, but we also have some joint studies like safety in the food chain or horticulture studies and applied limnology. These are joint studies where you study 1 year at BOKU and 1 year in one of our partner universities. I will present them in a few seconds. We have also 10 doctoral schools for being the PhD. If you have some question, you can always ask me or interrupt me. I will briefly interrupt our sites. We have more sites. It's not that we have one campus where everything is together. We have different sites in and outside of Vienna. One of the main building is at the Türkenschanze. You can see it here. I want to remove this. Yes. So this is our main site. This is maybe the oldest building here. This is 150 years old. Also, the Exen house is very, very old. But at the other hand, we have one of the newest buildings here, and the Ilse Valentin house is 100% wood building. And yeah. So can I go to the next slide? Hopefully. Yes. The other side is the Mutgasse, where we have more applied genetics. We have chemistry, we have food science, and also environmental engineering. I have most of my classes there, or I had. There is also some side more for chemistry and biotechnology in Tulln. And we also have different external sites. So whatever you want to do with water, you can go to the water cluster in Lunds. This is a very special river in Austria. If you focus on the aquatic habitats and you work with invertebrates, for example, or fishes, then you must go to the water cluster. It's very nice there. We have also a forest demonstration center. We have an experimental farm, and so on and so forth. And last but not least, I want to present you our newest lab. This is the so-called water lab. This is the place where I work. It's a hydraulic engineering lab, and it's very, very unique because, as you can see here, we have the main river, the Danube River, and we have the Danube channel here on the right side. So the Danube River has a higher water level than the Danube channel, and with this, we are able to have a free flow rate of 10 cubic meters without using pumps. And we can make very nice experiments there, and this is unique in the whole world. This is very special, and I recommend to visit it. The directors are very happy to have people there. So now about our partner universities. As you can see here in the map, we have a lot of partner universities, and currently we want to add the Javeriana University right here, a new point that we can work together. This is our main goal. Now I told you we have 15. We have different institutes. I want to present you the institute which sends us here. This is the IDR, the Institute of Development Research, which has the cluster for development research. It is mainly based on research as well as teaching and partnerships with different countries all over the world, with the goal of a world free of poverty and food insecurity, and also provide natural resources. Yeah, I want to skip this a little bit and go directly and very briefly want to introduce the programs we have. We have, for example, the Africa UniNet, where we work together with 80 different projects, it's true, but we have 65 partner institutions in Africa. This is one project. We have also a project in Asia with different members in Asia. And maybe I will go a little bit more detail to this project because this is a project from Andreas Melcher, this is our supervisor. He made this more than 12 years ago. It's called SUSFISH. It's a sustainable management of water and fish resources in Burkina Faso in Africa. It's focused on the ecosystem, on the aquaculture, as well as on the gender, education, and so on and so further. And as a result of this, I want to show this picture. This is very nice for us, because here in the middle, you can see Andreas Melcher and the director of the universities, where they are signing the memorandum of understanding here. And this is very important for us because since 2012, we managed to get one rector and 2 promotions for a dean position in these universities. We had already 2 habilitations and 2 full professors in Burkina Faso. We already had 6 doctoral studies accomplished and more than 46 master students which were working on this project. So this is very, very big and very important project. So this was shortly and briefly the University of Life Science here in Vienna. And now we go to Sabine, and she will present a little bit more why we are here and her project.
So hello from my side, and I'm gonna start with some slides by Marcus Dimitzer. So he was here with us the first week in Bogota and then also in Honda, and he provided me some slides to present the institute, and which, like, he's working there and he's my supervisor, so I'm also doing my master thesis on that institute. It's the Institute of Geomatics. So the teaching is about remote sensing, image processing, geoinformatics, land surveying, and global navigation and satellite systems, and also land administration. And those were all interesting stuff that I also did in my bachelor's and master's. Some of them also some fun lectures and fieldworks. Then from the research, I'm gonna go a little bit quicker through this because it's not my field. I'm just gonna show you the slides so you get an idea. But Marcus is doing monitoring of natural resources and digital forestry. So this is also kind of my field. So for remote sensing, we use 3 platforms: satellites, airplanes, and drone UAV. And with these, you can gain different types of data: multi or hyperspectral data, stereo data, and also LiDAR. And all of this data is available on a multi-temporal level. Then to analyze it, we can use different tools. Very common is machine learning or AI, then photogrammetry, and also point cloud analysis of LiDAR. Output more in the forest sector is species mapping, stress or disturbance detection, and stock or yield estimation. Here, to be more precise on the species mapping, the Institute did species mapping on individual tree crowns, also on a larger scale, and then also crop classification or crop rotations. So for forest and agriculture use. Then for the stress and disturbance detection, we have big problems with bark beetle infestations in Middle Europe, and they did with hyper or multispectral data. They are detecting it, and also with thermal data. And to have more precise data, like to see if the tree is actually stressed, that it also manually stress the trees. And wind throw detection is also a big part, because wind throw and bark beetle are the main disturbances in Middle Europe. Then also start and yield estimation is important. Volume, growing stock, and also yield modeling. So, as I said, there's a lot of applications for remote sensing in this field, mainly about the monitoring of natural resources, the mapping of management activities or changes. Then it could also be used for wildfire risk assessment or habitat characterization. And in general, also on the basis of this analysis and monitoring, you can do modeling. So the Institute has also collaborations internationally, and I put a heart here for Colombia because we would love to add Colombia here. Okay, so about my master's thesis, the title for now is Monitoring of Las Mercedes Reserva Natural de las Aguas in Colombia based on Sentinel-2 data. And as I already said, my supervisor is Markus Imiter, who is here, but also Michael Lechner from the Institute of Geomatics and Andreas Melcher, which is also a supervisor of Michael and involved in the whole project. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the project, my research question, existing data, then my classification approaches, and further details on the research area. So the reason why we are here and why this collaboration is happening is this Las Mercedes Reserva Natural de las Aguas project. It's a project, a collaboration for climate protection and art in collaboration with this Österreichisches Institut für nachhaltige Entwicklung, but also the BOKU, the Art Embassy, and also Javeriana is in collaboration with this foundation. This foundation was started in 2020, and we can see here a picture from an event last year where they were celebrating the water and the nature in general. So the core area of this project and climate protection is called Las Mercedes, and this has about 550 hectares. And then there have been also some extension contracts to further this project. So the areas are spread around Colombia. We have the 3 areas near Onda in the central part of Colombia and 2 areas in the north, where there's also a collaboration with indigenous people. But we were just focusing on these 3 areas, or near Onda, near the Río Magdalena. Yes. So what is my research question? It's about the monitoring of the forest cover and the land use with remote sensing. So I wanted to see how suitable is the existing data material. For example, here we can see a screenshot of the webpage of Global Forest Watch that's freely accessible on the web. You can see the forest laws and also fire detection and different stuff. So I wanted to see if those global products are useful to monitor smaller areas, like the areas of the foundation, Las Mercedes. And then I'm gonna compare those with my own classification based on planet scope data, sentinel data, and this is all supported obviously by the field work here. So I'm just gonna quickly present some of the existing data sets. One is the global forest change map that shows the forest loss from the year 2000 to 2003. And it has a ground resolution of 13 meters because it's based on Landsat images. Then we have data on the biomass from the European Space Agency. We get data from the above ground biomass for the year 2010, but then also from 2015 yearly data sets until 2021. Here they don't use only, not only photo-optical sensors, but also radar and thermal sensors to estimate those above ground biomass. Then another interesting data set is this about the tropical moist forest. It's called the transition map, and we have data from 1982 to 2022. It's again based on Landsat with a ground resolution of 30 meters. And I found this very interesting because you can see here in the Las Mercedes region, the green should be undisturbed forest, a little bit brownish disturbed forest. In red should be deforestation, and it's also categorized by the year. Then in yellow should be again new forest or reforestation. And all the rest in beige, it's other land use like agriculture or urban areas. And you can also see very well, again, the Río Magdalena. And my goal was to go out and like verify those data sets because they all look very nice. They are globally or for the whole tropics available, but I wanted to see if they actually make sense in those specific areas. Other data sets are on the canopy height. For example, from the ETH Zurich, we have it more recent data from 2020, and here we have a resolution of 10 meters. And similarly, we have a tree canopy height from Meta, that it's using very high resolution satellite images. So it has a resolution of 1 meter, but the disadvantage is that we don't know about the year because it's combining different images or different high resolution maxer images, and we don't know from which year the data is. So it's interesting to see. We can already see the forest areas. They come out very well, but for analysis, I don't know how to use it because it would be important to have an exact date. So now let's come to my part, what I'm doing. It's for the monitoring of the forest cover. And I like to use for that false color composite images because normal images are in red, green, and blue. But those satellite sensors can also detect near infrared wavelengths. And so to show those that are not visible to the human eye, we do a false color composite. So the near infrared is shown in red, the actual red is shown in green, and the green is shown in blue. So you can see here, everything that's in a bright red has a lot of vegetation because vegetation has a high reflectance in the near infrared area. And everything that has this bluish light color is bare soil or streets or dead vegetation. We can also use it to monitor the health of the vegetation. Because on a normal satellite images, everything would look kind of green. And here it's easier to detect where is a lot of healthy vegetation, where there's just like some dead grasses or something. So just quickly on the two satellite images or missions that I'm going to use, Sentinel-2 is from the European Space Agency with the Copernicus program, and it's freely available data. They have 2 satellites that go around the Earth with an offset of 5 days. So we get an image from like the same area is covered every 5 days. That's called the temporal resolution. For the spectral resolution, we have 13 bands. You can see them here with the wavelengths. But useful for us are the 10-meter bands with the blue, green, red, and the near infrared band. The other bands have a broader resolution. And the other one that I found very interesting are the planet scope data sets. They are they consist of groups of individual CubeSats, so-called flocks. There are over 180 dove satellites in the atmosphere. They are very small, but we have a lot of them. And this is a commercial project, but with an application you can get imagery for non-commercial research for universities. And BOKU has there also a collaboration going on so that I can use also this data for my master thesis. We have this imagery. These satellites have 8 bands and also RGB and near infrared. The ground sample distance is 3 meters. So this is the highest resolution I have access to, because this is 3 meters. Sentinel-2 has 10 meters, and Landsat, which is also freely available, has 30 meters ground resolution. Temporal resolution, they say it's per planet daily, but it's not always available. But in theory, we can have daily data, so very high temporal resolution. Okay, then what did we do actually here in Colombia? We went outside to visit the 3 areas and to just have a look at the forest, at the vegetation. For me, this was very important because I've never seen such a dry tropical forest, because I'm used to the mountainous forests in Austria. So this was very interesting for me also to then be able to better interpret the satellite data for the further analysis to make it all make sense. And then we had also help from our colleague Ronnie, and he was doing some drone flights and also providing us then with ortho photos for further analysis. Then the 3 research areas, the one in the south, more south than Onda, is called El Triunfo. It's a very big place. And I made a little yellow circle here in the image. I think I was standing around here when I took this picture. So you can see here very well the light turquoise color is the dead grass, and the more reddish part are where actual trees and vegetation is growing. So this satellite image is from a year ago because I prepared it beforehand, but it's still from August, so it should match with the dry season in the forest. Then Las Mercedes, the main research area, it's more high up in the mountain. The forest is there more, it's in a transition between a dry and a moist forest. And we can see here also the river, where we also took samples with Michael, and yeah, we have more forest land, and the cattle is not cattle but buffaloes. And La Roca is again flatter ground, not so high up in the mountain, and there's a lot of cattle there. But the big part that it's also part of the project is it's a bit a rocky part. You can see those little hills and mountains where there's forests growing, and in these areas there's no cattle because the pasture doesn't work on the rocks, obviously. And it was also very interesting for me to see that on the top of those little hills and rocks there are very few trees growing because the soil is so thin. So it's more on the sides of the rocks and near to water where trees are growing. So thank you for your attention. And if you have any questions, you can ask or also in the chat, and you can also reach out to me on email.
Okay, thank you very much, Sabine. Now we will come to the last part. This is my part. I was focused, while Sabine was focusing on the ortho pictures and the satellite pictures, my main focus was the river, because as she explained already, there is a cooperation between the institute for the research in Austria, the University Javeriana, and also the BOKU University. We have here a nice picture with Professor Angela, and Professor Carlos Devia is here, and also Ronnie, which was a very big help on the field work. So I will explain very shortly my content. I will tell a little bit about the research area. I will show what happened at the research 2023, because we were here last year. This was the rain season. I will make a short summary, a conclusio, and our future plans. Here, I will show you the research area. We are here in the Magdalena Valley. We are based in between Honda and La Dorada, and there is the Magdalena River with flow direction into the north. And we have here one main input. This is the Rio Purnio, and this Rio Purnio has a tributary river, which is the Rio Abacuar and the river Los Monos. And both of the rivers, they origin in the Las Mercedes area, which is the protected area where we are working with our institute. So my red line of all this project is the rivers, because I'm mainly focused on water management. My research was to describe the area on morphology and also the ecology and also sociology. I will tell you right now what it's gonna be. But first, let's have a look on the research area on a morphologic way. We have in the higher parts the Los Monos River, and as we see in this picture here, it's a dense forest. There is no input of humans there. We see now the other river, this is the Rio Abacuar. It's also a dense forest, and there is very, very short input of livestock, cattle. But it's very few, it's very dense forest. Now let's have a look on the Purnio River. We have still a dense forest, but there is a little bit of agriculture and livestock going on due to the fincas and the people which are living there. The river is a little bit bigger already than the two quebradas, like the Rio Abacuar and Los Monos, as we see here in the picture, but it's a really nice river. The river has space to move, to meander, and there is shading going on, and there is a lot of forest here. Let's have a look at the Purnio River a little bit on the lower parts, and we can see here that there is a forest, but there is already more livestock going on. There is grazing going on, so there was a deforestation many years ago. And we have mining there, so there is already settlements. We have eutrophication due to the agriculture activities. Sorry, go back. And of course, there's a little bit of settlement, so there's more human input. Let's have a look now at the main river, the Magdalena River here. We can see, or we can imagine that there is a bigger fincas with, like, let's say monocultures, but it's agriculture. We have this very big pig pork farm here, which we saw, and I come back to this a little later. We have a lot of waste, and of course, the cities have a big input in wastewater. So the wastewater is going directly without a treatment into the Magdalena River, and this is also at the other rivers the same here mostly. Yeah, let's come to the next part. I told you we have three parts. One was the morphologic part where I described the river, and now there's the ecology, because at all the parts we took some abiotic data. This is how it more or less looks like. This was last year with my colleague Andreas. He was here last year. This is the Purnio River, and we have some multimeters and where we take some water samples. At the end, last year, we were able to make 28 different measuring points, and at each measuring point, we took at least 3 independent samples. So what was the result of this? We can see, for example, electronic conductivity. I made it here with colors, so everything what is green has more or less the same characteristics, so dense forest, almost no human impact. Then we have here the Purnio Lower River, which is like yellowish here, which has more input, more settlement, more agriculture, more livestock. And to compare this, we compared it with the Wali River, which is here, which has the same characteristics. And the red or orange color is the Magdalena River here. And we can see the input of the electric conductivity is going higher and higher and higher if we go and if we have more human impact. So this was electronic conductivity. We have also the redox potential. We have on the higher places more oxidating water, and where the sewage outflow is going in, we have redox reducing characteristics. Also, we saw the dissolved solids in the water. Of course, there were almost no solids in the water in the higher parts, but a lot of solids in the lower part. So, yeah. Now there is also a sociologic part going on. What does it mean? I made some questionnaires. At the end, I was able to have 37 interviews directly with the people, because it's not that we come here as university members and we say, oh, the water should look like this. No, we need to ask the people what the people know about the water, and what do they think about the water, and what do the people want. So the results was, we were asking them about the SDGs. Very important for them is clear water, is enough food, is also the life on the land, and peace, of course. Let's go a little bit on the water quality. For almost everyone, the river was very important. And for the big part, it's very important to have a good river quality. But what do the people think? They know that the water of the river is contaminated, mainly because of the climate change, of deforestation, same as waste disposals and wastewater. So let's resume this. In a morphology, as more we come to the Magdalena River, higher is the anthropogenic impact, as we see here, sewage outflows and waste, and again sewage outflow and more sewage outflow, and bigger sewage outflows. You can see those on the color of the water here, but we took also water samples there. In an ecologic way, we see that the water quality, as we go more to the cities, is diminuting, so it's going down in different ways, so also in salinity, in the conductivity, and in oxygen values. And on a sociologic way, the river is very important for the population, for the local population, but they know that the river quality is not really good. And they also know that the main inputs is the wastewater, and deforestation and the climate change. So here we see main inputs could be deforestation, waste, and wastewater. So let's synchronize it with literature. We have found a lot of literature, and we have seen that just 30% of the total wastewater received in the sewage in Colombia is treated. So what is our conclusion about this? So let's just make briefly. This was our research last year when we were here in the dry season. When we were here in the rain season. So we needed to know if there is, how big is the impact of the rain. We needed to know if there is a wastewater input. We have to go on the chemistry parameters. We want to do a river model. I've made one, I can show you. And let's go to a river management plan, which is the last part. The impact of the rain, we saw that we have rainy season and dry season. This is the reason we were here. So now we came in August in the dry season and made the same research again. This time we did chemistry parameters. We did it with the colorimetric method, and we tested ammonium, phosphate, and nitrate. This was working with these colorimetric methods here. We can see on the picture. We added to the wastewater samples some reactives, and then the color changed, so we can see how much was the input of ammonium, phosphate, and nitrate in the water. I will show you now my river. Okay, no, let's do it like this. I made a real model. I made it already from the last year results. I will show it afterwards because the changing is too much. We want to make a river management plan. This is planned for 2025. We want to make a condition and continuous monitoring. We might make a water school in Honda so that people or young people know why is the contamination, where is the contamination coming from. And we are very open for new input. How can we make the quality of the water better for the people in this local area? This was my part, but please stay tuned. I will show you still the model which I made, which is very important, which is very interesting. As a last part, it's not taking very long. Same here. I mean, I will not repeat this because you know this already. Yeah. Okay. The question was if the water health vary along the Pontificia River and the Magdalena River due to human activities. Yeah, it's the same. I will just show you here. It was a research area. It's like between Medellin and Bogota. Now you can see it. So here, this was the last year's result. The red points is where we took water samples. This is again the picture. This is the abiotic data which we made. We made a correlation analysis and we made a criggling. It's called top criggling. Yeah, what we saw is a correlation. We saw a big correlation between the conductivity of the water, the dissolved solids, and the salinity. It's a positive correlation, and a very high negative correlation between conductivity and the redox potential and the oxygen values, and so on and so further. So there is not a correlation of the pH value, but we imagined this already before. Everything else is correlating very much, so that means that our research was going on very good. Let's start with this. So we have here, you can see Honda here and La Dorada there. This is the Magdalena River. Here, more or less, we have the, I hope you can see it. This is the Las Mercedes area, and this is the Pontificia River. The flow direction is north. And we see here the conductivity, how the conductivity is changing. We see that the Pontificia River at the higher parts, we have a very low conductivity, and we have higher conductivity in the city where the water is more polluted, and also here. I don't show this because it's too much. Also not the pH value. We did it, but it's not saying so much. The same here. The redox potential, we have a very high redox potential here, and where the cities are, this is where we have the main input, Honda and La Dorada. This is where we have a lot of pollution. Same with the dissolved oxygen. We see that there's less oxygen in the water here and here due to wastewater impact. Same with the dissolved solids. So it's correlating completely here. Yeah, this was also salinity, high input here in Honda, and also some input at La Dorada. Yeah, I just want to say this was the last year's results. We came here now in the dry season. We still need to analyze this, the results from this year. So also we have the chemistry parameters like ammonium phosphate and nitrate. We found new measuring points. We saw where the big input is, for example, this pork farm and the big sewage outflows. And I tried to analyze it, and as fast as I have it, I can send you my results, or I send it to the university. We hope we in the future can be a partner university with the University Javeriana and the BOKU. This is where we are working in, so that also students can go to Vienna and study there and vice versa. If you have any questions, you can see here my email. You can write me or you can write Sabine. If you have some questions, we will still be here. I will check the Zoom.
I have one question.
Yeah, or if you have questions.
You say if you have more conductivity is a result of more human impact?
Yeah, I don't know if it's human impact. But usually, you know that clean water does not conduct water. pure water, almost not. And the conductivity of the electricity is just going on if you have some solids in the water. This is also why the correlation between the solids or salinity and the conductivity is going on. Yeah. Thank you. If there are other questions, we are still here. If we have questions in
the Zoom.
Okay, thank you very much for being here. If you have some questions, you can still write me an email or Sabine, or we see us here at Javeriana University still today. I hope you had a good time this last hour, and I don't know if you want to say something more. I would say thank you for inviting us. Thank you for the very good connection and the work together. Also, special thank to Ronnie, which was on the field, a very big help, and also Andrés and Angela.
Gracias,
Also,
Micael.
Professor Carlos Devia.
Sí. Bueno, agradecemos a todos los que se conectaron. Ustedes ya vieron los correos de Sabine y de Micael. Entonces, la invitación es, si tienen alguna duda o alguna pregunta, pueden contactar directamente a ellos, y cualquier información adicional desde el Instituto Javeriano del Agua. Estamos atentos a resolver sus dudas e inquietudes. Esperamos pues poder seguir trabajando de manera conjunta en estas iniciativas. Muchas gracias a los que se conectaron el día de hoy y esperamos que nos acompañen en los próximos seminarios del Instituto. Muchas gracias.